Episodes of, let me take out this picture. I'm sorry, you guys. We're going to be covering all of the episodes from the show. Yesterday we covered simply, what did we cover? We covered the first episode, but now we're going to talk about all of these people and the train wreck that is season 3 of Love is Blind. Sorry, you guys. I just came back from the movies. I watched this really good movie today, and I like rushed my way back over here. Sorry. Okay, so let's get into this, you guys. So I really want to cover it from the top of episode 2. So we're going to get into the couples. I asked this yesterday, but I just want to repeat the question in case we've got new people here. Guys, who are your favorite couples of this season? So far, we've got Brennan and Alexa. In fact, this is a better photo of the two of them. They're my favorite couple. They are my Lauren and Cameron this year. We've also got Bartise and Nancy. I like Nancy more than I like Bartise. I'm not really a fan of Bartise, to be honest with you guys. We've also, well, he's not a couple. We've also got Raven and SK as a couple here. I don't believe in this couple. I don't believe that Raven is genuine. I don't think she came to the show looking to actually find a partner, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. And then we've also got Colleen and her guy. Can someone help remind me, what is the name of Colleen's boyfriend? I actually like him as a person. It's just that he's not like, and this is a good thing on his back. This is not like me dissing him or anything like that. He's not very memorable. He's just like a chill, normal, like round-the-way guy that you would find at any sort of pub. You know what I mean? Like he's just like a regular guy that you cross. You wouldn't like look twice at him. It doesn't mean he's not good looking or anything like that. It's just he's there. He blends in, and I think that that's a great thing. And his personality as well. It's not too explosive. Another couple. Speaking of explosive, we've got this couple. We've got Cole and Zanab. This has to be one of my least favorite couples. In fact, I feel badly for Zanab that she agreed to a proposal for this man. And that's about it for this season. Oh, I'm seeing you guys' comments come in. Nice to see you guys. Magic Girl Kingdom. Angie Thomas. Oh, you're liking Shane. Oh, his name is Shane. He looks like a Shane. You're right. Let me pull back up his photo. I was asking who this guy is that is dating Colleen. I should be looking at my email. Oh, his name is Matt. But he does look like a Shane. He actually looks like a Shane that I knew from high school. Actually, that's quite funny that you said that, Angie. Shanta says, I'm here for the decision because episode 4. Yes, average, you know. It's, oh, my audio sounds weird. Okay, hang on. Let me put on my headphones so that I can see what's going on here. Is this good? No, Kimberly, you're not late. We're just getting started. So hopefully this sounds a little bit better. I'm closer to the mic. And I've got my headphones in so I can make sure that you guys can hear me. So you guys, again, drop in your info, not your info, but your fave couples and your least favorite couples, okay, as we get into this. So let's kick things off with what went down in episode 3. So in episode 3 of the show, I have to say that I was quite surprised that Nancy actually turned down a proposal. So here's Nancy. She ends up with Bartise. But Andrew proposed to her first, and she turned him down. Was anyone else kind of a little bit blindsided by that? Because to me, it kind of seemed as though Bartise's age was going to be a little bit of a deal breaker for her. So I really thought that she was going to go for Andrew. So that definitely surprised me. Hi, Shannon Van. It's nice to see you here. Just reminder, you guys, Shannon Van has an awesome YouTube channel. She covers pop culture, and she's very, very consistent with her coverage. Definitely give her a follow if you haven't already. Shannon, please drop the link to your channel in the chat. And she says, Matt works. I really like Matt and Colleen together. Like, I think he could be a stabilizing force for her, that's for sure. And Nancy is a little bit annoying. I think she means well, but she is a little bit annoying. I'm not even going to lie. But yeah, she turns down Andrew, who, by the way, do you guys think this was genuine? He claimed that he needed eye drops because his eyes were dry. But to me, it kind of seemed as though he wanted to pretend cry. But I don't know why he would want to pretend cry. I don't understand what he would get out of pretend crying. So maybe I am jumping to conclusions there, but like something was very odd about the eye drop thing, and then him asking if they're rolling as he like puts the eye drops in, and then like he like does all of these pauses to make it seem as though they were natural tears. Like he makes my skin crawl. He gives like, this scene gave me almost serial killer vibes, or like, void of a real human emotion. It's like, oh, would a human cry at this point? Because I've read about it in books. So I brought these eye drops just in case so that I could mimic human emotion. That's literally what he seemed like to me. And I don't know, it really creeped me out. I was not a fan of it. And I agree with you, Nowazi. Like, what the heck? She made such a big deal of it and then accepted the proposal. It was so odd. And it seems like Kimberly is just like me. We are loving this couple. I am obsessed with them individually and together. You're wonderful. Okay, so I'm seeing your comments come in about Andrew. So let's see. So Nowazi says he was pretending to cry. Alexandria, nice to see you again, girl. Seemed like he was fake crying, like he was acting. Okay, me too. Shanta says not sure too because he knew they were rolling, right? But his eyes were puffy. Like I think he was genuinely sad, but he wanted to make it seem like he was sadder than he was, which is weird to me because the whole reason why Nancy had to reject him was because he never really actually opened up about himself personally. He was never really vulnerable. He only talked about material things. So it's like to me, someone like that who doesn't even have like the balls to be vulnerable and real about who they are as a person. I would imagine that they would never be willing to cry on camera. So it was very odd to me that he would pretend to cry on camera. That's like the only thing that gives me pause about whether or not it was fake or anything like that. But it was just so odd. And Omar, I would not be surprised if she was scared. Like that was so weird. And it was like a long speech that he gave, which was just so odd. When he was saying that Andrew's insane, I'm so happy that it's reduction. Thank you, right? I thought the same thing. Like he seemed so freaking creepy. Not a fan of it at all. And all of his long speeches and just like fakeness in general. Like he just seemed very disingenuous and performative, and I was not a fan. Angie says I was really liking Nancy and Bartise until the rest of the episode. Let me pull up their photos together. Yeah, and his age really showed when he talked about Amber the way that he did to Nancy. It broke my heart. Oh, did he talk about Amber? Because I don't remember him talking about Raven more so. I saw their honeymoon. Bartise was so sexual. Yeah, honestly, one thing about Bartise that really drives me nuts, you guys. And by the way, I'm gonna drop an invite, like if you guys want to hop on and chat with me via audio or video about the episode or anything like that. But Bartise definitely, in my opinion, is too. And I feel like like I get it. Like physical touch is a good love language and everything like that. But he's too much. Like after every interaction, he's like, okay, now kiss me. Okay, now kiss. It's like, okay, like how many times a day does this girl have to kiss you? Sorry, I would get tired of that. I would, and I would like to consider myself a physical touch person, but I do not want to kiss you like every 10 seconds. It's too much. Like he's just, it's too much for me. I can't. Like, did anybody else kind of notice that as well? And something else that grossed me out on him and Nancy's honeymoon was when they were in that tub, and I hope they took a shower before they got in that tub, first of all. But they get in the tub, but she starts talking about like having diarrhea or something at a certain point. So we're like crapping. I was like, wow, girl. Like I would jump out of that tub so fast and take a shower and just like, I don't even smoke, but I would need a freaking smoke break. Like, what was the point of that conversation? It was so like gross and weird and ill-timed and immature. Like, it can be quite annoying. Nawasi, do you speak Swahili? Because this name kind of gives me East African vibes. I'm originally from Kenya, so I'm like, she might be. Okay, so Anne has a comment to say about Zanab. Let me pull up a photo of our beautiful Zanab. And says Zanab seems like a very cool person. She didn't even shed a tear when telling the story about her parents, but she did shed a tear later in the episode when speaking about finding the one. You know what it is? I kind of feel like maybe because she lost her parents so long ago when she was so young, she's already grieved it, and it's not something that is so current and pressing and emotional to her. You know what I mean? I feel like she might have made peace with their passing at this point. And right now, the thing that, is occupying her emotions the most is the idea of not finding her person. So I can totally see why she'd be more emotional about one thing versus the other, even though, of course, losing your parents is a lot more, generally speaking, more serious. But yeah, I think she's just compartmentalized her grieving process for her family, which I would totally understand. She needs to, right, to survive that. Like, you have to be a freaking warrior to survive what she's gone through with the loss of her parents so young. Thought process, that's such a fun name. Feel like Colleen. Okay, so let's get a photo of Colleen and Matt up there. So thought process says, I feel like Colleen just went with Matt because she needed validation after getting dumped. Yes. And who did she get dumped by, you guys? First, she got dumped by Cole, and then I think she got dumped by my boyfriend after. Didn't she? By Brennan. I think she was talking to Brennan, and then she was just being shallow. And Brennan was like, no, sorry, I've got my queen. I've got my Jewish queen, Alexa. I am not doing this shallow stuff with you, ballerina, flexible ballerina. I am looking for a wife, not, just a fun time. So, okay, like it really looks like Andrew is just not the business, you guys. I love it. I love it. Oh, Powell is here. Hi, Powell. When Andrew delivered on his monologue after he took a sip of his drink, eye roll emoji, WTF. Agreed. Honestly, it's really not surprising to me that this man could not find a match because he was so like impersonal. He really was, self-centered, as Shanta says, just odd and not in a good way. Sometimes people could be a good odd, a good person. You know what I mean? But he was not that. I also felt like his eye drops were to make his eyes red from crying. But it's like, why would he want to make himself look that way? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's someone who wants to make him portray himself in like this very stoic fashion. So it was just so odd that he would make that decision. So now Hannah Pham says that SK seems genuine, but I'm worried for him with Raven. Definitely a recipe for disaster. Listen, I completely agree. The thing about Raven is, like I said earlier and in yesterday's episode of my stream, I don't believe she's there genuinely looking to get married. I think that Raven is there looking to build a following so that she can become a fitness influencer, more particularly a Pilates influencer. Do you guys know like that guy that we all love from Peloton who really blew up over the pandemic? His name is like Cole. What's his name? You guys know him. Like he's so funny and stuff, Zach or Cole or something like that. But he's hilarious. He really blew up. I feel like Raven wants to drop an app for Pilates or fitness, maybe like an athleisure collection. Maybe she wants to launch like a Pilates studio. Like she definitely wants to get in that space. She's supposed to show something. She's here for the exposure. I'm sorry to say it. And listen, when she met SK face to face, how did you guys feel about their interaction? First of all, look how far away she's leaning from him. Look at the fake smile. Look at the tense arms. She could not be any less attracted to that man if she tried. There's just no attraction there. And this is nothing against SK. He's a nice looking man, but she's just not attracted to him, and she's forcing herself to fake the funk. Honestly, I have a question for you guys. Bartise claims that she would be attracted to him, but to be honest with you guys, Bartise is not my style either, and I wonder if he is Raven's style. I don't think that she would go for him either. First of all, he's so young, and he's not an established man. Raven had already portrayed herself as being someone who goes after money above anything. And so I don't think that it would make sense for her. I don't think she would have the ability to be attracted to, a 25-year-old who's just starting out. It's not her vibe right now. Angie's so funny. I got my season's hotties mixed up. It's so cute. Chuck Bass. Don't insult my Chuck Bass. I was so attracted to Chuck Bass on Gossip Girl. So now, and I agree, he's trying to be someone he's not. So on the Bartise tip here with Selma, let me just pull his photo back up. Selma says that Bartise was so shady when he basically shames. Yeah, okay, I want to know how you guys feel about Bartise. Like I said yesterday, he starts off trying to act like he's super level-headed and whatnot, but then he very quickly shows his true self as the episodes progress. So 2, 3, and especially 4, you see the real Bartise. Bartise is very immature. And do you guys remember what he did to Raven? I am not a Raven fan at all, but what he did to Raven, where he prepared a dinner for her with like enchiladas or something and dollar bills after she told him, that she was afraid of being judged for being like a bottle girl or whatever. Like he's like, oh, I'm throwing ones on you like she's a stripper or something. Like that was really disrespectful, and it showed you just like how misogynistic he is. He tried hiding it, but he couldn't even hide it for that long. So I do feel bad for Nancy that she wound up with him because he's just an F-boy. And again, I don't believe that a 25-year-old should be allowed on Love is Blind. At 20, like I'm sorry, but no, go date around for a bit, go explore, go travel, go work, save some money, and come back on the show when you're like 30 plus, or at least late 20s, like 29-ish, 28-ish. I don't like the idea. I don't like that they put 25-year-olds on the season. Then we got that other childish 26-year-old in the form of Cole, who I am also not a fan of. It's a I always forget, Hosa or Sosa? Hosa name. I'm South African, but Zulu people also use the name Guni people in general. I love that. That's awesome. So Guni reminds me of, Swahili in Kenya. I don't like, oh my God, guys, this is the second comment I'm seeing about people not liking Zanab or just not really feeling her. Are you guys not liking my girl? Because I really like Zanab. She's extra in control. One thing I will tell you guys, though, I will agree with, is that she can be someone who expects someone to act a certain way without actually communicating those expectations. And then when they don't conform to these expectations that they don't even know that she has of them, she gives them the silent treatment and she gives them the cold shoulder. And I believe that that is like unhealthy. I almost said toxic, but maybe toxic might be a bit too extreme to call it. But I definitely do believe that it is unhealthy to go about relationships that way. I think that she needs to strengthen her communication skills. I don't think she's a bad person by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely do believe that she could work on her communication skills and setting her expectations and boundaries. Yeah, absolutely. What I felt bad for her was when she said she goes out, no one, honestly, that really surprises me because Zanab is an undeniably beautiful woman. I feel like she was exaggerating. I don't believe that Zanab has never been approached in real life. It's just not possible. She's a beautiful woman. She's, a radiant woman in that, like, she exudes positive, bubbly energy. Um, it's not possible. I'm sorry. It's just not possible. I don't believe it. And she's traveling everywhere all the time. Listen, when you're traveling is when you get approached the most because when you're traveling, you just have this like excitement and wonder in your eyes, this sparkle in your eyes that people are drawn to. So I feel like she absolutely gets approached. So yeah, she's exaggerating there. Shanta says, I don't think Raven is a bad person. I feel like when it comes to emotions, she's very awkward. Or when people tell her, yeah, maybe that's it. Remember when someone was telling her, I think it was Bartise, telling her a pretty like traumatic family story. What was our wannabe fitness influencer doing? She was like doing like bicep curls or something like that. I was like, okay, well, this is a little bit cringe. Not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie at all. So now, you guys, I have another question for you guys. Oh, wait. Where's my question? Matt. So Matt has his relationship with Colleen, the girl that everybody else left because they felt like she was too shallow for them. Do you guys think that he's a little bit too idealistic about what is going to become of their relationship? He does talk very often about how he's practically waited his whole life to be married and to, have a wife, like a family, kids, and everything like that. Do you think that he is operating from the space of he just wants anybody to fill the slot of wife so that he can consider himself a married man? Like, do you guys get that vibe from him? Because I kind of get it. And another thing I want to say to you guys, when I was watching, seasons 1 and 2 of Love Is Blind, like for season 1, I genuinely believed it when Lauren told Cameron that she loved him. It really just felt like genuine and spur of the moment and off the cuff. And it was very beautiful. It was a very, very beautiful moment. I don't remember Matt and Amber doing that in the pod or anything like that, Barnett. But I definitely, it definitely was a memory for me when Lauren and Cameron did it. Season 2, the couples who all got engaged all did it, and I just remember it feeling a little bit disingenuous. I remember Insecure Danielle. She was like saying it like every 5 seconds to that guy she got engaged to, and she would say it in such a weird insecure way, like she was fishing for him to say it to her. You know what I mean? She was very much like, love you. And then she'd look at him like that, and you, but you know what I mean? Like it was just, I don't know. And then something I noticed in this season is that they say it a lot as well. And I kind of felt like, calm down, let's go slow. Like, I know they think they're in love and that's why they're engaged, but it still seems a little bit like force, maybe say it once or twice, or it's just you can't contain it. But the way that they say it constantly, every time they leave the room or something, to me, it's just going too fast. Like it kind of feels like these people are going to crash and burn. And I think one of the couples that's truly going to crash and burn, unfortunately, because I kind of like this guy. He seems like a genuine, nice person. Matt and Colleen. Matt is really balls to the walls, balls to the wall, invested in this girl. This girl is lost, and I just do not see it lasting. He's talking about how he's so scared. This is so scary to him. Like, opening up his heart, professing his love to her. Yeah, like, and he's going to continue to do it anyway, which I thought was a good message because that's what dating and love is, right? It's like just having the courage to feel the fear and move forward anyway. And so I do think that it's beautiful that he is going to continue to try, but I just don't see it. And he's another person who constantly tells his partner or their partner that they love them, and it just feels so forced. And it feels like it's coming from a place of insecurity rather than like a secure, genuine like love that like is dependable. You know what I mean? Like I do worry for him. I think that he's a very nice person. So you guys, I was seeing some varying opinions about Cole and Zanab's relationship. So I really want to dissect that with you, okay? So my question for you guys is, how did you feel about their first morning in the love shack? Zanab was very upset with Cole because they banged like a screen door in a hurricane their first night. They were so excited. They did multiple rounds. And then the next morning, she says that he just gets up, doesn't even talk to her, goes and takes a shower, and she felt used. And it was a little bit awkward to me because she said that, like, oh, like, this can't technically, what did she say? She's like, technically, it doesn't feel like a one-night stand, and I don't feel used because we're engaged or whatever. But like everything else that she said kind of confirmed to that belief that she felt used and she felt like a one-night stand by this man who just ignored her the following morning. And so as payback, what does Zanab decide to do? Zanab decides to basically just give him the silent treatment, which was not healthy. I kind of feel like, listen, if you were upset with him and his actions, just tell him. He's your fiance. Like, you should feel comfortable communicating with him that you feel hurt, you feel disappointed, you feel used almost, and you feel, you know what I mean? Like you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled in this moment. And so it was quite upsetting to see her behave so immaturely about it. Like and then Cole, as a reaction to her coldness, he became even more childish, trying to get her attention. And of course, that irritated her, right? Like when someone is like a grown man is acting childish and stuff like that, like it's not attractive. So I could totally see why. And so it kind of seems like this is going to be like an endless cycle between the two of them, like him doing something that upsets her paying him back by giving him the silent treatment or the cold shoulder, him trying to look for her attention by being annoying or whatever. And that's just, it's just not sustainable. Like, his shower was not like the childish thing. It's just like he was trying to get her attention. I think he was like meowing at her through the shower pane. Like he was writing like on the shower pane and stuff like that and asking her like dumb questions about his laundry or whatever. Like, I think that he just really wanted to like come off cutesy to her so that she would like be like, "Aw, like he's so lovable. How can I be mad at?" You know what I mean? Like he was really fishing from that sort of a reaction from her, and of course she was not willing to give it to him because she was upset. But again, he didn't even know she was upset. So to him, she's just acting weird. Like we just are not speaking the same language in that moment, and it's just it's very, very awkward. Like you said, Crystal, why don't they grow up and speak like adults at this point? You know what I mean? Another thing I want to ask you guys about Cole is, do you guys feel like he negs Zanab? I feel like this is a bit of a polarizing question because some of you guys do say that Zanab is very insecure and desperate for validation, which I can see. But I kind of feel like in some respects, Cole kind of tries to neg her. And that only further fuels her insecurity. And I completely agree with you, Katie Lynn. It is 1,000% immature individuals, young ones as well. It kind of feels like, so I will give you an example of this. So I think when they wake up the next morning or whatever, something again in the next morning, Cole, like unprovoked, tells Zanab that she looks like a completely different person without makeup. And he doesn't even say, but it's beautiful. Like I get to see like your natural beauty more or anything like that. He just says, you look like a completely different person without makeup. And that would trigger anybody. Like if my friend said that to me, I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, what? Like, am I still cute? Like, like what do you mean by that? And so of course she asked him the question. And Cole never really tells her what he means by that. She had to ask that man like 3 times what he meant when he said that unprovoked before he responded. And he didn't even respond in a way that, well, I think he did like finally tell her that she was beautiful or anything like that. But I didn't like it. And then he points out her freckles. And I know that sometimes people could be insecure about their freckles, which I find wild because I love freckles. I think freckles are so freaking adorable. But there are a lot of people who are insecure about their freckles. So then he points out her freckles and then he doesn't even compliment them. It's like, why point something out without complimenting? It'd be like someone saying to you, oh, like, you have, like, for me, you have a beauty mark. And it's like, and? You know what I mean? Like, and? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so odd to me. Or it's like, oh, you have a unibrow. Oh, you have a mustache. Oh, you have a beard. And then they're just looking at you. And you're like, well, what's the point of this comment? I feel like he purposely makes these little comments to try to make my girl Zanab insecure. And then if people are not paying enough attention to like the slick shit he's doing, they're gonna blame everything on her and claim that she's insecure or that she's this or she's that or she's crazy. And I feel like that's a technique that very immature men do, and it works every single time. And to your point, Crystal, I think he's insecure, and that's why he does things like this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not seeing it for this couple. I think that they're unhealthy for one another, and I do worry about it. Right? Like he just does not seem like a good person. Cole, to me, I'm sorry, but I just can't. I can't with him. I can't get behind with him. Jade says that Cole seems to be all about the looks. Like when he had to make a comment about her boobs when he first saw her. Yeah, like he's just, I just can't. I cannot get with this man. Like, oh my God. Melissa says, Alyssa, I think I'm a very beautiful woman. Yes, girl. And I love the confidence. And if someone says to me I look better with makeup, I'm going to feel some sort of way. Exactly. Like it's not something meant to be kind. When someone says that, they're trying to bring you down. And you have to be careful. I don't know if this happens to men. There are a couple of men in this chat, so please let me know if this happens to you. But it is definitely something that we women have to look out for. Sometimes when a man feels like you are too good for him, too beautiful, too successful, too tall, too whatever for him, he will make slick little comments to make you start feeling insecure about yourself. And that is called negging, and they're trained to do this by those like toxic ass pickup artists or whatever coaches on social media. So just definitely be aware of it. And I feel like that's something that Cole is participating in. And I definitely want to call it out every single time I see it because it's unacceptable. Crystal says he doesn't know any better. I don't know. I hate to give a man the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry. I think some of these men are just, they like to pretend. I feel, like how there's like this thing called weaponized incompetence. A lot of men like to be useless around the house. Like they won't cook, they won't clean, they won't help with kids and stuff, and they pretend it's because they don't know how. I can't give men the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry, I can't. The resort definitely is beautiful. I will say that as well. It absolutely is. So, N says that I don't feel like Zanab is Cole's type. She's pretty, but he doesn't want to marry her because he wants a girl like Colleen to settle down with. So I feel like he's sabotaging. Yeah, I can totally get with that. I agree with you. He doesn't want to get with Zanab. He doesn't want to marry Zanab. And it's just, this is why, honestly, I feel like at the end of the day, it is important to talk about things like race. I would like to talk, like if I were, would you guys ask someone's race in the pods or something like that? Like, or at least if they have a diverse family, if they live in a diverse area, these things to me are important. I would never in a million freaking years marry someone without knowing what culture they come from, without knowing if they're from a diverse family or from a diverse like neighborhood or anything like that. These to me are important. These to me, I feel like they are life and death, to people of color. Like this type of information, like it's crucial, it's important, and I would never engage in a serious relationship without knowing the answers to these things, Great point, Shanta. I can't remember him complimenting her. The fact that he had sex knowing that he would, honestly, these people do it super quick. Just because you got engaged to this person doesn't mean you have to sleep with them. It's okay to take your time, but they always just jump right in. And I get it. Like they feel intensely connected to these people because they're talking to them all the, 24/7. They've got no connection to the outside world. So these things are just so deep. They feel like this connection is a lot deeper than it really is. Yeah, Crystal, I don't see him lasting. He's into Colleen. Hot mess waiting to happen. Absolutely. I think when guys say, yep, they are intimidated 1000%. Cole wants Colleen and Bartise wants Raven. That's the thing. Like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like seeing people get toyed with. Because if this happens, right here we've got Bartise who's with his fiance Raven, but Nancy, but he clearly wants this chick who's with this dude who wants her. So he if he succeeds in getting with Raven, who's going to be hurt? SK. And then if Cole succeeds in getting with Colleen, and Nancy's going to be hurt as well. Who's going to be hurt? This guy, I forgot his name again, Matt, and also Zanab. It's too much. I see N is here. And hi, hop on in. What's going on?
Hi, I just want first of all, my English isn't very good. I live in the Netherlands, so I just want to say that. Yes, I'm Dutch. No, I'm not Dutch. Like, I come from North Africa, Morocco, but I live in the Netherlands, so I'm not Dutch, but I live here.
Donc vous parlez français alors? I love it.
No, unfortunately not. I don't speak any French, no. But I just wanted to point out the fact that what you said about race, I think that's such a good point, because I feel like nowadays people are scared to mention race, so they act like it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. For example, I would like to marry a fellow North African. I think that's normal. I think that's totally normal. I have many friends that want to marry a fellow Dutchman. Yeah. So I think if he asked like her race beforehand, for example, like, oh, Zanab, it's not an American name, so where do you come from? Mm-hmm. He would have known where she came from. Maybe he wants to marry an American girl. Maybe he wants to marry, a white girl. There's nothing wrong with that, personally. And yeah, I've seen this a lot with race and everything. Like, we are scared to come off as racist. Mm-hmm. So, oh no, don't ask about race. Don't ask where they come from. But I don't know. I feel like it would really help. For example, I feel like, we have seen with Lauren and Cameron. They are different race and they work because they decided that they want that and that they're okay with that. But let's say if she didn't want a white man, that's her right. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think he wants a white girl, and it's so sad because Zanab is such a beautiful girl, and she could have someone better. And unfortunately, now he has to sabotage the relationship because he is not. I don't think he's comfortable with saying like, I just don't feel it. So he will pretend to feel it and like sabotage the relationship. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's kind of sad, and I think we could have all avoided this if we were upfront in the beginning and said like, where do you come from? I think our families will clash, so let's take different paths. And I don't know. I do think like the whole race thing should be spoken about more. To be honest, I do think it should be spoken about more, and our preferences should not be shamed. That's what I think, honestly. And it could avoid a lot of heartache and everything. It's very sad to see because Zainab is such a beautiful girl, like you said. She's so beautiful, and it's sad.
It's true. I completely agree with you. Honestly, there was like this movement in the US that started, I think like 3 to 5 years ago, where people started saying that it was racist to not be open to dating certain people of certain races. But I believe the way you do, if someone does not want to date someone of a particular race, that's within their right. You're attracted to what you're attracted to. I don't care about the reasoning behind it. Like, it's your own personal choice, your body, your choice. And like you said, like at the end of the day, when you try to force people to be, colorblind or whatever, and they're simply not, the people of color or the people of whatever other race that they're forcing themselves to be with or whatever are the ones who get hurt. And it's just not fair at the end of the day. And who wins? Who benefits? They both get hurt, actually.
Exactly. Like, it's very sad, and it's so sad to see. And I don't know. I think if he felt more comfortable up front to say like, because he said it himself, like he wants a girl like Colleen, like she's usually the girl he would fall for, looks like Colleen, like a white girl and everything. And I think if he knew that she was, but he could have known, to be honest, from her name. To be really honest, like Zainab, it's not an American name, so
that's the thing. I don't know. That's the thing. I would have guessed she was Arab or Persian. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it seems very evident, but I don't know. I agree with you, though. By the way, your English is perfect. Let me just say.
Thanks. No, I was like very insecure. Like, oh, how my English will sound everything, but it's not my first language, so it's fine.
But it's perfect. Thanks so much for calling in. I completely agree with you. Awesome. So But thanks again so much, N, for calling in. That was awesome. You guys, I completely agree. Like, I feel like no one should be obligated to date people they're not into. You know, you're not like some kind of hero if you force yourself to be into something you're not. Like, it's okay to just I don't know. I don't get it. Make It Make Sense is here, you guys. Make It Make Sense also has an amazing YouTube channel. He covers pop culture. I think he's on a daily basis and everything as well. Give him a listen. Give him a watch if you haven't already. So Crystal says only 2 people discuss their race and ethnicity, Alexa and SK. And Alexa, see, that's a good example of it. Alexa is Jewish, okay? I love Alexa so much. I'm a stan. So she's Jewish, and there is a lot of anti-Semitism in the world, unfortunately. And I think it was very smart for her to bring that up and say, listen, it is non-negotiable. I am not marrying into an anti-Semitic family. Sorry, not sorry. Like, it truly is important. I feel like the idea of not bringing up your race, to me as a Black woman, I couldn't do it. I do not want to be surprised by a racist family at the end of the day. I can't. It's just, no one has time to play these games. I sure don't. And especially going back to where these people live. Where do you live? Is it diverse? You know what I mean? Like, it's really, really important. Absolutely. Ugh, I love talking to N. That was so nice. We're going to see a culture clash with Raven and SK soon enough. Yeah, they did show a preview of Raven trying to eat with SK's family. They were eating what looked like fufu. And in my country, we call them, what was that? Collard greens. It was collard greens. You guys call it in the US. But on my side of the woods, skooma. And it's something that you eat by hand. And then Raven made a couple of comments that might offend SK's family with him being Nigerian. So that might be something to look out for sure. He called her shallow. I forgot who we were talking about, Alexandria. It's okay to have a preference as long as it's not based on bigotry. You like what you like. Exactly. Just let people like what they like. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah, date who you want. Okay, see, you guys are feeling it. Okay, so now what else goes down in these episodes? So what you can tell me. Okay, so by the way, you guys, who do you think is actually going to marry from this show? I genuinely am curious. And not only marry, but stay married. I feel like that is the ultimate thing that is important at the end of the day. Staying married. Our 2 couples from season 1, Lauren and Cam, Amber and Barnett, are still together, which is beautiful. But season 2, they crashed and burned. We had, and I forget their name, Danielle was married to that guy. Who is the other couple? We had, what's her name? She looks like a Maya to me, and she was married to that guy who didn't even have a proper bed. He slept on like a squiggly futon. What was it? Jarrett, written like Barrett. That one. What was his wife's name? Listen, I was so not invested in season 2 that I did not even bother to memorize these people's names. I was like, Grace, these couples are not going to work. Like, no, there's no point. They're not going to work. And I believe Grace played Shane. He chose an Asian girl. Shane, the tall guy, the crazy guy, the guy that people think is Okay, now I remember. What was that girl's name? Amber or something like that? Yeah, maybe it was a factor, you know? And it's like people could avoid the hurt if they just get real about race. Race is so important, you know? It really is. Bartise is really getting on my nerves. Well, let's talk about Bartise, Haley. So Bartise, you guys, I feel like he's a little bit delusional when it comes to rating himself and when it comes to rating Raven. He's like, oh, whenever I walk into a room, I'm usually the guy that girls gravitate to. I don't know. Maybe he's just not my style and he's you guys' style or something like that. I don't know. But I just don't see this guy being the guy that, like, he's young. So maybe this appeals to the young ladies out there. But like, to me, I don't know. I don't see it. And then he talks about like that being Raven as well. And I'm sorry. I don't see it there either. I think there are people who are very much in shape, but that's about it to me personally. It's not that I think that they're unattractive. It's just I don't think that they are the knockouts that Bartise thinks that he is or they are. And I don't know. He just kept saying it too. Like, he talked about how he is the guy that all the girls go to. He said it like no less than like 4 or 5 times already this season. And I'm like, all right, Bartise, I get it. You think that you are the hottest thing ever invented. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing you guys drop the names of these people I forgot from season 2. Ayana, doesn't she look like a Maya to you guys? Like, I liked her personally. But yeah, them as a couple, I could have told you guys that they were not going to work out. Yeah, Jarrett did not have like a Shuri air mattress. Yeah, Jarrett didn't have a proper bed. He slept on a futon. If you go back and watch, it was like, you know, when you go to the psychiatrist or the shrink or whatever, and they put you on one of those like things that's like this, those like things where you're like, oh, so tell me about yourself, like that. It was like one of those that he was sleeping on. And I'm like, oh, and you're trying to get married and you don't even have a bed, a marital bed? All right, sir. Like, yeah. Priorities, right? So another thing, Zeb, remember I told you guys earlier that I felt like Cole was negging Zanab. First of all, it started with her looks. Oh, you look completely different without makeup. Oh, you have freckles, these little things like that. And then in the next episode, this time I'm in episode 4, what happens? She says that they had a great like first like meeting, like she just feels great. And he says he felt good. And there's a difference. We all know there's a difference between good and great. Great is better than good. And I think he said it was very good even. But it's like, she needed him to say it was great. Or is she doing too much? Am I defending my girl too much? Because you guys know I really like Zanab. You guys tell me if I'm doing the most, but I still feel like Cole is purposely trying to make her feel insecure. You know, she's like, oh, like I felt like we had a great night. He's like, yeah, we had a very good night, or we had a good night. And she's like, well, why not a great night? Like, wasn't it like you don't think it was good enough to be considered great? And then he kind of like going back and forth with her over it. Why not just admit that it was great? You know, I go through this with my boyfriend because he's French, right? And we live here in France. One thing about French people is they're very nonchalant. Like, for example, I told you guys earlier, I just came from a movie. This movie was amazing. It's called Innocent. It was an incredible movie. And he watched it before me. And so I asked him like, what he thought about it. He was like, you know, c'était pas mal, franchement, blah, blah, blah. That's how, to them, that means it was great. You know, like to me, if something was great, like this movie, I say, and I told him, I was like, this is 5 out of 5 stars. It's incredible. I have not seen a movie this good. It's like French people will not speak in this way. You know what I mean? But he makes an effort for me because I need a little bit more, you know, descriptive, exciting, like off the chain. You know what I mean? So I feel like I feel Zanab in this. It's like you are such like, you know, positive. Like you just want to hear so much good, positive, like happy, jovial words that like someone having more of this like you know what I mean, like I don't know, I don't like it, but maybe Zanab is too much, maybe I'm too much, y'all. I don't know. But I definitely do feel like Cole is doing little things to make her kind of doubt his feelings about the relationship, and I don't like it. Ooh, Omar is really getting into Bartise. Okay, so let's talk about Bartise again then, you guys. So Bartise, what does he do in the last episode? He talks to his fiance, Nancy, about how he is so wildly attracted to Raven. She looked incredible in her dress. And he and Raven are so hot that in the real world, they would normally be together. Imagine you get engaged to a man and this is what he's saying to you, that this girl is so hot. Like, yeah, like normally in the real world, these two hotties would be together. I'm sorry, Nancy, since you like to talk about poop in the tub, get in the tub with him again, shit in the tub, and dump him. I'm joking, but like seriously, like how dare you disrespect me like that? How freaking dare you? Who do you think you are? I'm serious. Like I would be so pissed off. And you're doing this to me on camera? On camera? No, I cannot. I just, no, I'm not a fan. It's like Katie says, no one deserves a Bartise or a Cole. They're just a mess, you guys. I'm not feeling either one of them. And by the way, where's my girl, Katie? What do Cole and Bartise have in common? I will let you guys guess, right? What they have in common is that they're both way too freaking young to be on Love is Blind. One of them, Bartholomew, as I like to call him, especially with his Bart Simpson hair, he's 25. Cole, F-boy Cole, as I like to call him, he's 26. These people are too young to be on the show, okay? Their frontal lobes just finished forming. Let them enjoy life with a fully formed brain for like 2-3 years before they go look for marriage, okay? Like, this is not, I'm sorry, this is not like 1960. They can wait. I don't like it. I don't like it. And if they want, like, go do it on your own time, but not on my TV screen. I want to see, people who are in a more stable, secure place in their life after already trying, the traditional way. At 25, 26, you haven't really tried that much to get married the traditional normal way. You know what I mean? I don't like it. Rachel says they will never get the same success they had with season 1. I feel like season 1 truly, yes, I completely agree. Season 1 was just, when people say they captured lightning in a bottle, that was that. Like, we didn't even know how good we had it season 1. We thought that this was something, it was so good that we thought it was something that could be recreated, but unfortunately it is simply not. Haley says Nancy deserves better. Anyone else agree? Absolutely. These couples shouldn't be able to switch after, I would love that. Maybe they should do another version like that. Or do you know how, like, they do with Married at First Sight? Don't they do like a retreat of like all the divorcees, and then some of them get together? Bachelor in Paradise is like that. They should do a spin-off like that. I feel like Love is Blind is really sleeping on all the possible spin-offs that they could be doing. Like, come on now. And I agree, Crystal. They definitely need some more time to get to know each other and to communicate. But I hate that they are taking so long to talk about their needs. Like, you're engaged and you're supposed to get married in weeks or days. Like, oh, like, it's not like you don't have, all the time in the world to worry about, like, to play these dumb games. Like, you have to decide this stuff. Communicate your needs. They'll let you know if they can, like, give you what you're looking for. And if they can't, don't get married to them, rather than like base everything on assumptions. And says, I don't know how Nancy is able to stay with Bartise after his comments about race. Yes, it's disgusting and disrespectful. But you know what? In the preview, it kind of looked like, let me put our girl up. It kind of looked like Nancy might actually get with somebody else. She might actually develop an attraction for I Drop Andrew. I Drop Andrew professes his love to Nancy, and Nancy looks to be a little bit interested. The preview kind of showed her giving him the eyes, like, so that could be something that they get into. May says, definitely a fan of Nancy. Girl should have stuck to her gut. At least fake tears would not sit you in the bed to lust over another woman. Exactly. He would sit you in the bed to talk about himself. And that is safer than him talking about another woman. Like, but again, you guys, she might get with him. We don't know. They might just run away together. Yeah, I think a lot of them should have thought about it more before signing up as well. It's crazy. Okay, so it seems like all of you guys are not feeling Bartise. Like, he really faked the funk at first. He almost had us fooled, but he really showed the real him. Paula says, Bartise really tried her at 2 a.m. Ooh, it could not beat me either. Crystal, I love this. She says that at 44, I wouldn't marry anyone under 28. Like, I feel like Nancy, how old is Nancy, you guys? Can you guys remind me? Because something about her does feel immature anyway. You know what I mean? Like, she's chronologically in her 30s, but like vibe-wise, she seems like mentally a little bit younger, and insecure. Like, I knew she would accept something because she just wanted to get married and have kids and stuff. Maybe she feels the pressure of her clock ticking. But like, come on, like, she could do better in the real world. Neither of these, I think, are a match. And yeah, Omar, you can definitely tell when that alcohol starts hitting. Ooh, Lord, a mess. Nice. We addressed the bed haircuts. We addressed the eyedropper thing. Yeah, we really, really went into it. Yeah, we think that he was faking it, but we don't understand why, because he was trying to make himself seem too cool for school. So why would someone like that, not willing to be vulnerable, why would he try to portray himself as a crier? It just is not making sense. And he seems very creepy, like the fact that we're not able to piece together his motivations for doing that. Rachel says, I think the location they choose has a lot to do with it. They went to Dallas of all places. Oh, what's the tea on Dallas? Because I always heard that Dallas was like very nice, upwardly mobile and diverse. No, I'm thinking of Houston. Actually, I haven't heard that much about Dallas. What's the tea on Dallas, y'all? Danielle says, Bartise fooled me in episode 1. Yeah, me too. I was so disappointed in him. He's only reinforcing that you should run far away from younger men. Yeah, he's not. He's definitely doing them a disservice, because at first, like you said, Danielle, when you watch episode 1, you're like, okay, like, listen, I would not go for a younger man. Okay. But like, okay, he seems a little bit mature, but then I knew as soon as he did that dollar bill thing to Raven, after she was really scared to open up to him about being a bottle service girl, I was like, wow, look at you trying to humiliate this woman Wow. Just so you can dump her and say that you're going to get with someone else. Like, you're disgusting. Like, I really did not like how he did that. Isn't that so funny? Drop Andrew. We're going to have to call him that from now on. It's so so funny. Crystal says they definitely should have started that with the pods. Yeah, most of them could not. What did they communicate about? Tantric sex and stuff? Like, they're just, I'm flexible. Like, it's just such childish stuff. Dylan, thank you so much for the super chat. Dylan says that he just started watching Love is Blind season 3. Do you like it? What do you think so far? Are you into it? I know it's not as good as Love is Blind season 1, but do you at least like it better than season 3? This is a question for not only Dylan, but all of you guys in the chat as well. If you had to compare between this one and season 2 so far, which one would you rate higher? For me personally, I think I would rate this one higher. I think the storylines are a little bit more compelling this time around. Here's the thing. Andrew wants a sugar baby. Abso-freaking-lutely. And you know who dates sugar daddies? Raven. I think that maybe that should have been a match, perhaps. Right? Can you guys see it happening? Oh, so you guys are telling, okay, wait, what is it? I'm seeing a bunch of different ages. We're trying to figure out, you guys, how old Fancy Nancy is. And so I'm getting 31. I'm also getting, where did it go? I'm also getting 33. I'm getting 31 or 24. I think May is being cheeky. I'm getting 31 again. I'm getting 34. I'm getting 31 again. You guys are making me dizzy. And I agree, Shanta. Nancy's a little bit childish for me. I find her a little bit. Omar, what's the scene like in Houston? Let me know. I've heard nothing but good things about Houstonites. Yeah, as soon as I say I'm not like, yeah, I wouldn't accept it either. See, here's the thing when it comes to like the race thing and how they're trying to be colorblind or whatever. I feel like it would be kind of similar to like being age blind. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like age is very important when you're dating as well, especially if you're someone who wants to have kids. Like, because it's like, here's the thing. Let's say these people are all between the ages of 28 and 38. Right? And you're someone, you go in there and you're someone who wants to have kids eventually. Keyword being eventually. You're not pressed to have kids, but you match with someone who's on the higher end of the scale. And you never talked about ages, but they're on the higher end of the scale. They're 37 or they're 38 years old, but you're thinking 3-4 years out. That's not going to match up. You know what I mean? Age, race, these things are very important when it comes to dating, right? And so, yeah, I definitely do think that that's another important thing that they should have. I don't think Bartise is pressed to have kids. Like, I know he wants to get married, but it's kind of like Jared. He wanted to get married, but did he want to be a proper husband? No, he just wanted to consider himself married. Does he want to be a father? I don't know, but I don't think so at this age or at this point in his life. I don't think so. Crystal, I'm married to a 51-year-old now, and I think people under 28 shouldn't get married. I agree. Guys, just live your life. Travel, save money, invest. Nurture your friendships. Nurture your hobbies. Like, marriage can wait. It'll always be there. I agree. I wouldn't get married younger than I am now. I'm 28 until next week. So I'm waiting for season 4. Seattle. Seattle sounds good, too. Seattle is very upwardly mobile as well. So that could be quite good. Again, I want them to go older in the age range. Here you guys go playing around with so maybe she was 31 when she filmed and 32 now. Maybe that's what's going on here. Rachel says, Houston's one of the most diverse cities in America. I'm born and raised from Houston, Texas, baby. Dallas is known for being extremely vain and presumptuous. Well, there's the tea. I had literally no idea. I love having people from like everywhere on these streams. Like, we had N, who is a Moroccan who lives in the Netherlands. Amazing. Now we've got some Houstonites. We've got some Dallas. Where is everybody else from here? This is so cool. I am loving it. One thing I kind of wanted to get back to you guys about, sorry, let me get to some of your comments. One thing I wanted to get back to you guys about, please remind me, was I talked about all the flaws in this relationship, but it is worth noting that I feel like as of right now, as of episode 4, it seems like these two are in a good place. And so I do want to say that in this moment, I am currently holding out hope that they've worked on their communication issues, that they've worked on, their expectations and everything like that. So I am hoping that they are able to work it out. As of episode 4, I will say, you guys, that I do think that Zanab is going to say yes to Cole at the altar. But like you guys, I also think that Cole is going to say no to Zanab at the altar. What do you guys think? Am I off base with that? Or do you think that Zanab is going to say no as well? Omar, I just turned 40 last month. For me, updated older and updated young. Oh, I've dated younger. And what works, I think you're using text to speech, Omar. And what works for me is my husband being the same age, and we've been together since 2014. Oh, almost 10 years. Happy in advance 10-year anniversary. And yeah, May, religion is very important. Like, you know, you don't want to be marrying into a family that just does not support your religion, right? It's so important. Raven seems to forget that actual human beings are going to watch the show. Doesn't she know how she comes across? Let's say she wants to start a business. It wouldn't be a smart move. I agree. She was seeming very cold. Honestly, she gave me escort vibes as well. So there's nothing wrong with being an escort, but it seemed like she's not serious about finding a genuine connection. So it really makes you wonder why she would get on this show and play with people's emotions, you know, because, you know, I think the other people here are genuine. You know, some of them are immature, absolutely, and not ready to be married, but I do believe they're genuine. They're delusional about their capacity, but they're genuine. You know what I mean? So yeah. No, Haley, don't hate on my favorite couple. No, we're not going there with my peeps. I love them. She's saying that they are too in love. I'm rooting for them, but it seems too good to be true. No, this could be Lauren and Cam. Lauren and Cam are like this. You don't remember them making out everywhere like crazy? Some of them, Seattle, some of them come off as desperate. Yeah, absolutely. I think, unfortunately, here's the thing, and I hope I do not offend anybody on here. Listen, in the dating world, I feel like I'm between the two. So let me say this. You know how earlier we talked about how the younger guys on this show are giving younger guys a bad rap? We've got Cole, and then we've got Bartise. I feel like they're really playing into these stereotypes, these negative dating stereotypes about guys, younger men. But I also feel like some of these women, the older women, Zanab, my girl who I love, and Nancy, Fancy Nancy, I think they're also playing into some negative stereotypes about older women. You know, about the whole, okay, like, I'll just take what I can get at this point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in a hurry. Like, anything will do. I will say that. Is anyone else getting that vibe? I feel like people who are on the extremes of the age range of the show are just, they're not hitting for me. Crystal, I think the people on the show should, yeah, absolutely. I would love this. I feel like people in that range are more sure of what they're looking for, you know, and more ready to settle down. And they've already like been through it all, like the dating world, and they just are so more focused on what it is that they're looking for. Okay, so let's see where you guys are from. This has been so fun, you guys. Okay, so Virginia Beach, Virginia. That's awesome. Phoenix, one of my best friends just came back from visiting there. I've been to Phoenix. I love it. Los Angeles. I love LA as well. Jamaica. Oh, must be freaking nice. Palm trees and sunshine, right? I do agree with you, by the way, thought process. Toronto. I am originally from Ottawa, so a fellow Canadian here. Hello. Toronto is so lovely. I think Cole sleeps with Colleen and does say no. Oh, where did you get that? Oh my God. If they did that behind their fiancés' backs, I would be so pissed at them, you guys. Oh my God. Dylan, thank you again for another wonderful super chat. I said older and younger in the app, no matches, SMH. You know what? Dylan Toombs. Dylan Toombs. I can't dox anybody, but this name is very familiar to me. If I know, I feel like I know you, right? Because I know a Dylan Toombs. He was my brother's friend growing up. Are you my brother's friend? Here's what, you know, when it comes to dating apps, don't beat yourself up. I know a lot of men are going through this right now because apparently dating apps, like the ratio of men to women, there are way more men on dating apps than women. And it's so funny because most of my single girlfriends refuse to get onto dating apps right now. Like they're like, I'm so burnt out from it that I'm just not even going to bother. And so, yeah, unfortunately, it has been very, very difficult for men to get matches on dating apps right now because the women are just no longer using them really like we used to. Emaine says that Zanab and Cole seem really off. I don't understand the way they talk to each other. Absolutely. These people, their communication styles do not line up at all right about now. Hopefully they work on it. Listen, in the last episode, they seem to be on the same page. So as of right now, they seem to be back in like the honeymoon stage. So potentially they could like be that couple that surprises us all. They could really be that. Abigail says, Zanab and Cole give me Natalie and Shane vibes. Yes, I can totally see this, playing out like that. Absolutely. One's going to say yes. One is going to say no. Raven does have a business. Oh, see, there you go. She might be trying to promote that, the influencer, the Pilates, the whatever it is. Get ready. I personally don't think age matters. It just depends if you really want it or not, and being honest. Yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like, it all depends on what stage you are in your life. I feel like the 23-year-old is in a different space than a 33-year-old, personally. And the younger guys are not being honest. Absolutely. I think they just want to be on TV. They want to be influencers at this point. Raven was exercising during important conversations. Makes me think it's her defense mechanism, because she's barely revealed anything about her parents or family. It's true. What do we know about Raven's parents or family? The only things that Raven has really revealed to us is that she's some sort of like a sugar baby. She is a bottle service girl, and she is a quote unquote bartender sometimes as well. That's it. Like, I don't think we've ever really heard anything else about her. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. And I'm with you, Melissa. I want Natalie to have everything that she's looking for. You mean you're from the south of France? I love the south of France. Are you Côte d'Azur or the other side? I don't know what they call the other side, but the Biarritz, Bordeaux area. I actually considered moving. I'm in Paris, but I considered moving to the south of France for a bit. So I stayed a little bit of time in Nice to see if I could live down there. But I haven't gone to the southwest. I would love to see Biarritz and stuff. I've only visited Bordeaux. Jamaica, we've got another Jamaican in here. Paula, I never knew you were from Toronto. That's incredible. You're Canadian like me. I love that. South of Florida, Pennsylvania, North Dakota. I love it. I am loving it. Rachel says, I don't know. It's hard when it comes to dating older. Yeah, younger or same age. It's all personal preference. I've never connected with guys my age and younger, but I grew up very early having my daughter at 17. Yeah, like I usually... I feel like my biggest relationship was with someone 10 years older than me. Now with someone who's a little bit even more older than me. So it really just depends. I do feel though, and then before that, I was with someone who's like 4 or 5 years older than me. I feel like it changes. When you're with someone who's that much older than you, like it kind of feels like all of your plans are on a tighter timeline than what they naturally would be if you're with someone more in your own age range. You know what I mean? So yeah, Rachel, you're like me, girl. A little older. Belgium, you're right next door to me, Abigail. That's awesome. I love this. I've been with my partner for 6 years now. I'm from OkCupid. My husband is 7 years older than me. Guys, we're really getting to know each other here, and I'm loving it. Exercising is her mask, and she uses it to hide her scares. I would not be surprised. Fulani is an American in Paris. Do you watch that new Bravo show, Real Girlfriends of Paris? It's really, really good. It's about expats like you. Just turned 40. Oh, you were telling me about your husband, Omar. I think that's so amazing. So you guys, Nancy went with Bartise because he would be ready to have kids. He lies. Yeah, I don't believe he's gonna have kids soon. And Nancy, she should be with someone more mature and more deserving of her, because Bartise is not it. Bartise is keeping her on the back burner because he wants to get with Raven. Guys, real quick, last question. Speaking of Raven, before we go, I want to ask you. So someone brought it up earlier, but Raven really did look stunning on the wedding day. And I'm quite curious what she is culturally. Do we know anything about, and I'm looking up the picture to show you guys, but do we know anything about her culture? Because it looked like was she wearing a traditional Nigerian bride sort of a dress? And I feel bad even saying Nigerian bride, because there's so many different cultures in Nigeria, right? It could have been Yoruba, it could have been Igbo, it could have been anything. You know what I mean? But like, was she wearing something from her fiance's culture to honor him, or was that from her own culture? So I'm Googling, but no photos of her on the wedding day are popping up, but I'm sure you guys saw them in the preview. I'm kind of curious where her beautiful head covering and wedding dress came from, because I did find that to be quite beautiful. And if she wore that to honor SK's family and his culture, I think that that is even more amazing, because listen, at the end of the day, when you date someone of a different culture or whatever, like people do that. Like they have traditional weddings and then they go ahead and have, Americanized weddings or whatever as well. They do the two. SK was also wearing his own traditional, Nigerian wear, Nigerian groom wear for the wedding as well. So maybe it was something that they did kind of just to like stay in theme with his culture. But either way, I did find it to be very beautiful. So apparently she was wearing Nigerian culture. Okay, that's good. But it could be a bad thing if she says no. Well, that's the thing, But I feel like at the very least, it was sweet of her to wear something from his culture on her first wedding day. Don't you think? I think so. I really do. Anyway, you guys, listen, it has been so incredible chatting with you. I've really loved this. Keep posted on my channel, because I will be doing another sit down live stream as the rest of the season kind of drops on Netflix. I am so excited to continue to get to know you guys and continue to share these lovely stories and to talk about Love is Blind. It has been absolutely amazing. Guys, I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend.